Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Market Astrology and Horoscope, the channel for traders, investors, and businesses. My name is Yasko. When the moon is in Pisces, you need to be careful. And we just had a new moon in Pisces last week. And at this time, we have Mercury that's also retrograde. Now, if we're talking about a movie, this movie is a tearjerker. Why? Because the moon is in Pisces. That means there's something sad. So the movie may be excellent, but there's something sad or misfortunate associated with moon in Pisces. 9/11 happened when there was a full moon in Pisces. So today, at this recording, today, March 11th, 2019, Boeing 737 MAX 8, an Ethiopian airline, crashed and killed 157 people on Sunday. That was yesterday. And Dow has tumbled already, and I think it was like down 9% this morning. So I also mentioned this in my last video, that there is something sad about assets and money. So since these predictions are for the US markets, it affected the Dow. Because Boeing is a Dow component, thus dragging the assets downward. And this was associated with sadness, as stated in the earlier first half of March video. See, according to CNBC News, it retreated 9%. And I saw the pre-market opening, but it's associated with something that is sad. So what are we supposed to do when we have an adverse reaction to the lunation accompanied by a Mercury that's retrograde? The best path to follow is to stick to regularity. Go back and finish what's been placed on the back burner. This is not the time to initiate anything new. Whatever new idea started or ventured will likely be dropped by next month. Whatever new idea started or ventured will likely be dropped by next month. However, you'll find out what works and what doesn't. Or you could have just wasted your time. And Mercury is retrograde from March 5th, 6th, depends on where you are, to March 28th. But let me just briefly touch on this new moon in Pisces, which happened last week. In Pisces, the moon is misfortunate. First of all, any planet conjunct the sun is not good. Why? Because any planet that's close to the sun is burned out. This condition is called combust. And this is like Phoenix, the bird that is burned by the strong heat of the sun and dies. Then it rises from the ashes to be reborn, or it's called the transformation. And that's what Phoenix represents, transformation. So if you are, say, Sagittarius, go back to last November, when Jupiter conjunct the sun. Were you burned out physically, mentally, or did you get burned by a person or thing, or did you burn your money, or on something unworthy? but some burning took place. Now, let's look at Hillary Clinton's chart, her birth chart. She has moon in Pisces. And no matter how good her life, there is something misfortunate, because that is what moon in Pisces represent. She was the First Lady, Senator, and then became Secretary of State. She achieved these positions relatively quickly. What she really wanted was the presidency. And she was misunderstood, and the public, the moon represents public, could not embrace her comfortably, which eventuated in losing the bid for the highest office twice. Mercury is ill-placed in Pisces. Your health is the biggest concern. Then your phone, computer, or any form of communication and transportation, especially if it's communication, it's going to be social media. With transportation, or the airline, there obviously was a malfunction which led to that crash. So it is frustrating. I've been mulling over whether I should even record this, because the timing is not as good, because Mercury is retrograde. And yes, the new moon is over, but Mercury is still in Pisces. And some of you are affected by this because it triggers allergies. And as you can tell, I don't know if you can or not, but I'm very uncomfortable because I have a cold again, and it's affecting my throat. That's Uranus in Taurus. Uranus went into Taurus last week. And as I mentioned in previous videos, whether you are affected by the crisis depends on how Mercury and Neptune conjunction touches you, your ascendant, and the ruler and the planets in your first house. So you have to look at and check your chart. If you don't have a chart, you can always go to Cafe Astrology or Astrolab, and just plug in your birth time, birth date, and all the information in your birth certificate. It'll generate a natal chart for you. So for traders, investors, businesses, this market does not favor Gemini traders. It also does not favor Virgos. Okay, so let me start with Gemini. If you're a Gemini, Mercury is your ruler because it is the ruler of Gemini. If you are born with Sun in the mid degrees of Gemini or late degrees of Gemini, you will be cautious. You need to be cautious. Right now, Mercury in Pisces, you're not going to be able to see this matter happening. I mean, it just comes from nowhere, and you weren't expecting it. So relate that to your trading or your business. It hits you unexpectedly or at the worst time, and communications could be delayed or transportation could be a problem. And there's frustration due to confusion. If you're trying to learn something new, it could be frustrating. This new moon brought you frustration and a certain degree of fear. It's about something that causes uncertainties, yet you're unable to do anything about it. Some of you are just worried but can't figure out what to do. You absolutely cannot plan because things are shifting chaotically. For Virgos, if you're a Virgo sun in mid to late degrees, your health could be affected because Mercury is your ruler and it is in Pisces. And it cannot properly function in Pisces. So Virgos in the mid to late degrees, you can be your own enemy. And you're aware of this matter. And you're frustrated by your inability to move matters forward because Mercury is going backward. So you just walk away from something that made you back off due to some circumstance. Perhaps because you feel that you have no control or the matter was not under your control. For Sagittarius, Sun in mid to late degrees, this new moon and Mercury is not as bad because you are ruled by Jupiter, not Mercury. However, your health can be affected also. You need to pace yourself and don't go overboard with whatever, exercise or trading or investing or working. The more you trade, the less you profit for some of you Sagittarius people. Mercury could affect communication, but Jupiter in Sagittarius, you would be protected because Jupiter is there. And you can get irritated and frustrated, but still it's not bad. Perhaps you're sluggish and bombarded with work, but unable to put yourself into work. Things are not progressing as it should, and there are discomforts. For mid-degree to late degree Sun Pisces, Sun in Pisces, your health could be affected. It could be because of low morale. You cannot seem to charge forward because something is missing. There is frustration, but not too bad, because Mercury is not your ruler. But it is in Pisces, so it is irritating. Thinking too much, changing too much, or changing too soon, too late, or something like that. The timing is off. There's just too much uncertainties, and it's making you worry. Do you really want to start a new position? And when you don't have a lot of energy that's moving you forward. So, again, I go back to the best path to follow. Just stick to your regular routines. It may not be easy, but it's best to stick to your regular routines and not try to look for any new ventures at this time until Mercury goes direct. So, until next time, goodbye for now.